Today we're gonna be making little suns, either into stuffies, amigurumi, or into coasters. There's also an option in the PDF to make it into a little pouch that has an inside pocket. For each sun that we'll make, we'll need 22 yards of a worsted weight 4-weight yarn. We'll also need our scissors and stitch markers. We'll also need a E-hook, a 3.5 millimeter hook, and a tapestry needle. If we're doing the coasters, we'll need a tapestry needle that has a sharp point on it, along with a pen, a few sewing pins, and some anti-skid, anti-slip fabric for the bottom of the coaster. For the stuffies or the amigurumi, we could use some safety eyes along with our tapestry needle to embroidery it on the face, or we can use some felting supplies, which includes a felting needle, some of the fluff, a few stencils, and then the foam block to felt on. We'll also need some fluff for our sun, and we would be making 2 sides, so we would need another 22 yards of yarn. To start our sun, we're going to start with a magic ring. So you make like you're making a slip knot, and instead of pulling it tight right away, you're going to chain 1, and inside our magic ring we are going to single crochet 6. So for our round 1 we have 6 single crochets. Then we're going to pull our magic ring tight. Our round 2, we're going to increase in every stitch. So 2 single crochets all the way around. So 2 single crochets 6 times. And for our round 2, we're going to have 12 single crochets. When we get to the end of our round 2, we're going to place a stitch marker to help us keep track of which round we are on. And for our round 3, we're going to continue increasing. So we're going to do an increase stitch in the first stitch, followed by a single crochet. 2 single crochets, followed by another single crochet. So for our round 3, we're going to have 18 single crochets. For round 4, we're going to increase 6 more times. So the first stitch is going to be single crochet 2, followed by a single crochet in each of the next 2 stitches. So an increase, single crochet, increase, and we're going to do that 6 times. We'll have 24 single crochets at the end of our round 4. For round 5, we're going to increase by 6 again. So we're going to do our increase stitch, followed by 3 single crochets in the next 3 stitches. And again, we're going to follow this pattern 6 times around. So by the end of round 5, we will have 30 single crochets. So 2 single crochets, and then 1 single crochet in the next 3 stitches. Round 6, we're going to increase by 6 again, starting with our increase stitch, followed by a single crochet in the next 4 stitches. And we're going to do this 6 times around. So at the end of round 6, we're going to have 36 single crochets. So 2 single crochets, followed by 1 single crochet in the next 4 stitches. Round 7, we're going to single crochet all the way around. So at the end of round 7, we're going to have 36 single crochets. Next, we're going to be working on the points of our sun. So we're going to be moving from rounds to rows. Our first row, 8A, is going to be 6 single crochets across. Round 8B, we're going to chain 1, turn, 6 single crochets across. Row 8C, we're going to decrease stitch, single crochet, decrease stitch for 4 single crochets in 8C. Then I'm going to chain 1, turn, row 8E, row 8D, we're going to do 4 single crochets across, chain 1, turn, row 8E, we're going to single crochet, decrease, and single crochet for a total of 3 single crochets. Row 8F, we're going to chain 1, turn, single crochet, decrease stitch. Row 8G, we're going to chain 1, turn, and we're going to do a decrease stitch, so we'll have 1 single crochet. For row 8G, we're going to chain 1. We're not going to turn this time, we're going to slip stitch down the point of our sun. 1 slip stitch in the side post of each row. When we get to the bottom of our point, we're going to slip stitch into round 7. We're then going to chain 1, and we're going to make another point. So starting out with the 6 single crochets, you're going to go through each row just like you did the first point until we have 6 points on our sun. Now that we have our 6 points to our sun, we're going to do a border all the way around. So back to rounds. Round 9, we're just gonna single crochet in the side post up each of our points of our sun. So 6 single crochets, and then when we get to the top point, we're gonna single crochet, chain 3, slip stitch back into that first stitch for our picot stitch, and then we're going to single crochet into that same stitch. We're going to then single crochet 6 back down the side of the point. Then when we get to the bottom of our point, we're going to slip stitch back into that round 7. And then we're going to turn and we're going to single crochet up the side of the next point. So 6 single crochets up the side of the point. And then a single crochet, picot stitch, single crochet in that very tip of the point, and then we're going to single crochet back down the other side, and we're going to do that for all 6 points. When we've made it back to our first stitch after we complete the border, we're going to slip stitch into that first stitch, and we're going to pull, oops, let's fix that. Alright, so slip stitching into that first stitch of the border, pulling it tight, and we're going to tie off. So we want to leave a long thread depending on which part of the sun you're on, and you can check out the PDF for options to start for what you want to do. So we're going to be making the coaster first, so long sewing, tail, and we have all 6 points to our sun. We're going to take our sun that we had made, and we're going to turn it into a coaster. So we're going to put an anti-sticky, anti-slip material on the back. I use this anti-skid gripping fabric, so that way when you set it down, it won't slide across the table. So we're going to cut out a piece of our fabric. And the first thing that we're going to do is lay our sun down. And when we trace around our sun, we're going to leave about 1/8 to 1/4 inch of extra fabric so we can fold it under so we get smooth edges. So we're just going to trace around each of our points, and then we will cut out our fabric. Now that we have our anti-skid backing cut out, we're going to make sure that our sun is facing right side up. And we're going to pin each point so it stays in place while we sew it together. So we're just going to put one pin on each of our points. Now that we have each of our points pinned down, I'm going to use a sharp tapestry needle, and we're going to first do right around round 7 to tag down the middle part so it doesn't move. And to do that, we're just going to take our tapestry needle, and with the long tail that we left, we're just going to weave back and forth through the upper part of the stitches of round 7. Now that we have finished tagging down our round 7 to the back, we're going to work on going around each of our points, and we're going to do that with a whip stitch. So around, and as we do that, we're going to fold in the corners of our anti-skid material. So for our first corner, just going to take our material and fold it in just a little bit. And we're going to go through the top to the back. And we're going to continue to do that all the way around, holding our fold towards the outer edge of our stitch, pulling back to the front. And continue to whip stitch up the side of the point. We're going to work our way around each one of the points. Once we finish sewing around each point of our sun, we're going to tie off our tail. And we're going to go between the sun and the backing with our tapestry needle. And then we'll cut this here and we'll hide that tail between our sun and our backing. And that will give us our sun coaster. By having the anti-skid backing on the sun, it makes it so when you place something on it, it doesn't move around so much, and it will stay in one spot. Another option for our suns that we make, we can do them in any color, and we can do some felting on it, give it a face, and turn it into a little stuffy or amigurumi. So on this one here, we'll take our stencil and we'll give it some eyes and a mouth. So you place the stencil where we want the eye to be. We'll take our first color. Once we have the base of our eyes, we can grab another stencil with another color to do the inside of our eyes. And we'll use little stars today for the inside of our sun eyes. Then we can add a little bit of the black for the pupils to the middle of the eyeball. And then we can give our sun a smile. And then we can give our sun a tongue with a little bit of red. So once you get your face felted on, you can also do other faces as well. We're going to take the other side of our sun that we didn't tie off yet, and we're going to match it up with our face side out. We're going to be attaching the two pieces by working the back loops only of the back piece and the front loops only of the front piece. And we're gonna single crochet all the way around, doing the back loops and front loops of the two pieces. When you get to the top peacock stitch, you can either single crochet each one around, or you can slip stitch into one side of the peacock stitch and then do another peacock stitch at the top to give it a little bit of an extra point, and then slip stitch into the other side, skipping one chain of the previous peacock stitch. And then go back to single crochet, back loops of the back and front loops of the front. And we're going to do that for half of our sun, and then we'll begin to stuff. The peacock stitch gives it a little bit more of a point, whereas if you single crochet all the way around, it gives it more of a rounded edge for your sun. Once we get to the last 2 points before we finish bordering our two sides together, we're going to take a little bit of our fluff and we're going to stuff our sun. Stuff each point of the sun to your desired firmness. And then continue to close them up. Once we get to the last side of our last point, we're going to finish stuffing our sun. And then we will continue with our single crochet border. Once we make it all the way around, we'll slip stitch into the first single crochet of our border, and we'll cut and tie off our tail and weave it into the inside. And then we have our stuffed sun. Instead of felting the eyes, you can also add some safety eyes to the front piece, and then using your tapestry needle, you could embroider a mouth. The other thing that you can do with your suns is you can make a little coin purse, bag, pouch, a little snap, and a little inside pocket. And all the instructions on how to complete the pouch with the sun is in the PDF that is linked in the description box here.